Hello everyone, how are you doing today? Welcome to the Nehemiah School of Influence and National Transformation. Oh wow, we are in week 4. Can you imagine? We've had 3 weeks of teachings. We've had the teaching on pain, on positioning. Last week we had the teaching on prayers. And today we are going to be looking at the 4th P, the 7 P's for national rebuilding, and we are on number 4 now. And we know that this blueprint is taken from the life of Nehemiah, how he went from seeing the ruins of Jerusalem to rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. And I hope, tell me, how has it been over the course of the last few weeks for you? I hope it's really been transformative for you. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So today we are going to look at people, and as we do it here, we are looking at the 10 codes for nation buildings. Every teachings we have 10 codes, and today we are going to look at the codes before we go to the teaching manual. And the wall was built because every family repaired what was nearest their home. No single hero can rebuild a nation, but a nation of people who each take responsibility for their session. That nation can not stay broken. This is very important to know that NSINT, the Nehemiah School of Influence and National Transformation, is really about national transformation, not about your personal advancement or your business advancement. But as we said before, it's going to also help you to develop yourself and your business one way or the other, because these principles apply, this framework apply to everything that you do in life. And so we're just going to go to the first quote today. And at the end you tell me which one really touches your heart. The first is around nobody rebuilds a nation alone. Remember, we're looking at the 4th P, which is people. The wall was built because every family repaired what was nearest their home. No single hero can rebuild a nation, but a nation of people who each take responsibility for their session. That nation cannot stay broken. And so, for example, you see a lot of children who trek a long distance to go to school. What can you do about it? Can you start a school nearby? Do you have enough funds to buy a bus for them? How can you subsidize they are going to school so that they don't have to trek a very long distance while going to school in the morning and then trek back very long distance while coming in the morning? You find yourself in the health sector, in technology, health, education, agriculture, governance. What is the little thing that you can really do to make a difference there? And so if we all consistently play our part in the transformation of this nation, then this nation, it's going to be great. So the wall was built, so we cannot overemphasize the importance of people. It's important that we understand that we need people. The second says call people to their session. Call people to the session of the wall nearest their own home. The closer the assignment is to their existing life, their neighborhood, their sphere, their mountain, the more naturally their strength, creativity, and endurance will flow into it. Proximity is not convenience, it is calling. So call people. You want to build something. Nehemiah spoke to the people, his own people, and set each family in different walls. So you want to make a difference in a community. It's very important that you engage the people who live there, maybe the chiefs there, the community, the people who live ordinary lives there. You talk to them, you ask them questions. By that, you might even know what is really pressing, more pressing to them than that which you want to build also. So it's important that you call people to build this wall. You want to do something in technology. Who are the people that matter there, and who can give you leverage, who can give you support, who can give you advice, who can give you counsel, who can serve as a guide, a springboard for you to achieve what you want to achieve. So it goes with every sphere of influence and the neighborhood that you find yourself, or the school that you are in, and the community or state that you are in. Accumulation versus multiplication. There are two models of leadership, and only one can rebuild a nation. The leader of accumulation gathers followers. The leader of multiplication builds builders. Nigeria does not need more platform with one voice. She needs more Nehemiahs who build walls and then step back so others can build the next session. So it's important that it's not time for us to take the glory. It's not time for us to continue to get the people to our side who don't really matter in what we want to build, but we get the people who will do the work with us. Nigeria does not need more platforms with one voice. She needs more Nehemiahs, more Nehemiahs. If so many people, someone is recently doing a friend is recently doing a book hangout, which is held for some years, and she partners with two other friends, and three of them hold these hangouts every day. You can see how they are every year. You can see how they are pulling resources together, and it makes their work really, really easy. Takes away the burden of finances also. More ideas, more creativity, work we get done faster. The nobles who refused. The men of Tekoa built their session, but their nobles would not put their shoulders to the work. They were recorded by name for their absence. In national transformation, your title is not your contribution. Your presence is. The nobles who sit out while others build are not neutral. They are a liability. They might think that they're protecting their names, protecting their family, protecting their business, protecting, whatever they are protecting, but they are a liability to the nations. So it's important that people who matter in our society today, who have influence, begin to rise up to speak, begin to rise up to build, begin to rise up to lead other people who can rebuild the walls of this nation with them. There's so much that an ordinary Nigeria can do, but think about it, where people of influence come together, the nobles come together and say, look, we cannot. I believe Nigeria is the way it is because a lot of people who matter are not speaking up, are not, they're still silent because they perhaps get contracts from the government, or their own person is in power. So, but when these people come together and say, look, we have the money, we have the willpower to do this, let's make a difference in our nations, and they speak a sphere or a war or a community, or a sector, it's going to really make a difference. Sometimes just the body, the NUT, the NLC, organizations that have to do with technology, entrepreneur, different sector, the health sector, people there come in and say, this is what we need to do, and they have one voice. It's really, really, really important, and it will make a difference. Daughters also build. Shalom repaired his session with the help of his daughters. In a culture that rarely records women's contributions, Nehemiah wrote them into the official record of national reconstruction. The coalition that cannot include women has already limited the war. Every session matters, every builder matters. And this is really one of the challenges that we have in our nations today, that you go to really organizations that matter, you go to the House of Rep, House of the National Assembly, you go when it comes to the government election, as the governors, the president, you can't really, the women are just eliminated, they're not given the voice. But women are meant to carry, they have a womb, they are meant to conceive their ideas, they are meant to birth things, they are meant to transform, they are meant to nurture. And so this really is the missing piece in our nations today, that even in the church today, to a very large extent, we don't give voice to people who are, simply because they are not male, because they are female. So it's important that we rise up to the task to not only begin to get these women to do the work, but to recognize that, look, their voice matters and they can contribute to the transformation of our nation. So if you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This is an African proverb. Nigeria's transformation will not be achieved by the fastest movers acting alone. It will be achieved by coalitions of committed builders who have learned that the war is too long for any single person and too important to leave to chance. Think about what I'm doing, and so many people come to partner with me to teach more and more people. And this season, I get a sense that a lot of people who are monetizing certain knowledge need to get out there and give it to a lot of people, organize conferences for free that people come and the minds of so many Nigerians are transformed and they receive knowledge that will transform. So many people in our nation today really need that knowledge to transform what they are doing, to even get a heads up on starting their business or scaling their business or making a difference in society. Think about if you are equipping, for instance, just 50 people in a closed room session, and you have an opportunity to speak to 1 million people, 10,000 people. Think about the effect, the ripple effect of what that could cause in our nation, the positive effect of that in our nation. So it's important that we invest in people this time around. It will be achieved by coalitions of committed builders who have learned that the war is too long for any single person and too important to leave to chance. The role of the builder. Great leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. The test of a Nehemiah type leader is not the size of their platform, it is the number of builders they have released into their own assignments, empowered to pick up their own session of the war. And so this quote is inspired by Tom Peters, the leadership scholar and author. So great leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. They replicate themselves in people. Show them what to do and let them do it. And the test of a Nehemiah type leader is not the size of their platform, it is the number of builders they have released into their own assignments. Think about the people, good number of people who catch a burden for the sphere of influence that they find themselves in and who will rise to the task of transforming the nation. And so many times, like Nehemiah, these people are connected to kings and men of influence who are able to speak to them and say, look, this is what I think can transform this sector. This is what I think can transform this industry. And I want to spearhead this. So it's important for us to, raise leaders, not just followers. Each one in their place. The body is not one member but many. And the eye cannot say to the hand, I have no need of you. The nation builder who builds alone has already decided that their gift is sufficient for the entire war. It never is. Every session needs its own builder. Every builder needs their session. And this really is inspired by Apostle Paul, 1 Corinthians 12:14-21. So the body is not one member but many, and the eye cannot say to the hand, I have no need of you. And so we all have to come together, whether every sector that we find ourselves, every sphere of influence, there have to be people mounting everything that is required. For instance, education, you will have people who mount the space of policy, who mount the space of curriculum, who mount the space of teacher training, come on the space of values and morality to ensure that these students are living right, doing the right thing, so representing the nation well. And then safety is also there. So this is really important that we all take our place, we all occupy the session that has been given to us. Power is in the coalition. None of us is as smart as all of us. The reform movement that is built on the gifts, inside proximity, and sacrifice of many will always outlast the initiative that depends on the brilliance of one. Build coalitions, build builders, then build the war. Ken Blanchard, leadership author, the 1 minute manager. None of us is as smart as all of us. A reform movement that is built on the gifts, inside proximity, and the sacrifice of many will always outlast the initiative that depends on the brilliance of one. Build coalitions, build builders, then build the world. This is powerful. Every session has a name. In Nehemiah's list, the perfumers built, the goldsmiths built, the priests built, the merchants built, the daughters built. Not a single session was assigned to someone whose gift was irrelevant to the task. God does not call people to wars they were not made to build. For the session, find the session nearest your home and pick up the trowel. This is very important. What session will carry your name? Find the session nearest your home and pick up the trowel. So you go from identifying what you need to change, what you need to transform, where you need to make an impact, assign people there, get certain people to help you. Nehemiah identified that the walls of Jerusalem was broken and he needed to rebuild it, and then he found people, assigned the people, and then they build together. So you identify, you assign, and you build together. NSINT is not a personal development program. NSINT is not a business transformation school. NSINT is a school for nation builders who cannot look away and refuse to build alone. And so the wall was built because every family repaired what was nearest their own home. So